Hey all, here at OS Reviews, you're watching our hands-on review of the Mixcder E9. This is their newest wireless Bluetooth active noise cancelling headphones that sells on Amazon for $50. So there's a $10 instant coupon right now applied during checkout. Now at this price, it's the same as the H5 that we reviewed a few months back from MPOW, and these were made out of plastic versus the E9, which should have some more aluminum metal accents going on, so it feels more premium. Furthermore, the battery life has been upgraded to 30 hours of wireless Bluetooth mode, so it's about 5 to 6 hours longer than the previous generation model. Packaging here is very simple, basic specs printed on the back. It has a 40mm driver. Inside we have a hard shell carrying case. We've got the headphones presented right on top, and below here we have a auxiliary cable and an airplane adapter if you are using this in a wired mode. There's also a quick warranty card that's printed in the shape of a headphone, which is kind of cool, and there's also a user manual that's actually pretty detailed, going through all of the various features in multiple languages. Alright, so immediately from a design perspective, it definitely looks more premium than the previous H5. You can see here by comparison, plastic, slightly easier to scratch, it's a huge fingerprint magnet, and a more conventional shape compared to this one, which is completely round and has this aluminum alloy shell. So for the same price, I think the build has definitely improved. We have a synthetic leather on the very top for the padding. We have the Mixcder logo. This kind of reminds me of a vinyl record, in fact. And the shape of the cups themselves are also larger now, so they should fit over your ears a bit more comfortably. Now inside here we have, again, the protein leather pads, and the headband itself also has these metal accents that tells you how far you're pulling it up, so it has, again, a bit more of attention to detail from a construction perspective. Now the headphones themselves can still be folded down like so they are still going to be very compact if you want to take them with you on the road. On the base is where you'll find the micro USB port for charging. Now this is not waterproof, so make sure you don't submerge it or get it wet. It's not covered up. There's also additional volume keys, which are oversized, very tactile to click. There's a status LED light and a microphone for answering phone calls when you're paired to a smartphone, a dedicated power key which you can tap on for a few seconds longer to enter the Bluetooth pairing mode, and you'll see the light here start to flash. On the side here, you also have access to the auxiliary input if you want to use it as wired headphones, and the manual ANC switch, which is operated independently of turning on Bluetooth. That's great because you can actually turn on active noise cancelling if you're on a flight without listening to music, so you can rest in peace. It reminds me a little bit of the Bluetooth turbines, the latest generation T6, which also has a larger padding and also has this vinyl-like texture to the aluminum, which is not really a bad thing. I think both of these look pretty classy and elegant. The Bluetooth is a bit more expensive, however. It sells for about $60 right now, compared to $50 for the MPOW, so on paper it should be a slightly better value. It is a bit lighter, however, in terms of weight than the Bluetooth, which does feel a bit more hefty in the hands. Moving to audio quality and performance, I would say they sound pretty good for the money. The bass isn't quite as strong as the Bluetooth Turbine T6, so these really feel the bass rumble, especially on bass boosted tracks, but these are a bit more subtle. However, mids and highs sound very clean, and it still delivers plenty of detail. So if you're listening to a high-res track, or if you're listening to classical music, you can hear all the layers and textures of the music fairly well. Vocals work nicely. Mids and highs are not too piercing or sharp. They sound quite round. It's fairly warm sounding, and as a whole, it's comfortable to listen to. So although I wouldn't call them audiophile grade, I would say they sound extremely good for the money. In terms of active noise cancelling, it also works better than the H5 for sure. Compared to them, I would say these just naturally feel more comfortable when you are wearing them. They're fairly lightweight, but the padding also rests over your ears and really just naturally isolates sound. But the digital ANC also pretty much blocks out 90% of any engine sounds or any subway sounds if you are commuting back and forth. So it's very effective for that. Allows you to enjoy your music in a lot more silence and comfort. With that being said, when you turn on ANC, just like on any other pair of ANC headphones, it slightly degrades the audio quality. So it produces a little bit more of static. So if you want, again, the best audio experience, you would still want to turn those functions off. Using them in wired mode also is great. I would say that produces the least amount of noise noise. In general, the Bluetooth has good latency. I believe it's using Bluetooth version 4.2, not quite Bluetooth 5.0, but for watching movies, they still stayed sync with the sound pretty well. And play and pause a track in between, they don't really produce too much popping or noise as you are resuming a track, so they sound fairly clean. So overall, I would say that sound quality is definitely an improvement over the H5. I would say it has more bass in the H5 and also has more clarity and detail with the mids and highs. The ANC is also slightly more effective, but more importantly, it's more comfortable, has longer battery performance, and in my opinion, looks a little bit better. In a perfect world, I would say that the Bluetooth T6 are still slightly ahead in terms of the audio quality, but these are slightly more comfortable because they are lighter weight, so it's going to be a compromise in what you value more. You can find out more details in the links down below, but for now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been our hands-on with the Mixcder E9, their newest wireless Bluetooth ANC headphones.